right, so C is a great key for playing alternating thumb blues, and there are tons of tunes to play in C. The problem is that it can always sound kind of the same or just have that kind of folky fingerpick quality and not really sound particularly bluesy. In this lesson, I want to show you 3 things you can do to make your alternating thumb blues in C sound better. All this month in my membership, the Fingerstyle 5, we're working on arranging, how to put a tune together. And we're going to look at intros and outros and vamps and how to play accompaniment if it's a song that you're going to sing, and even how to do a little stop time so you can slip some extra licks into your arrangement. If that's something you'd like to learn more about, check out the link below or the link on screen. Okay, the 3 things we're going to look at are ghosting the backbeat, playing walking bass lines, and adding in some stop time licks. And if you're not familiar with what some of those things are, I will explain them as we go along. So the first thing is to ghost the backbeat. The backbeat is beats 2 and 4. If you're playing an alternating thumb groove on a C chord, that means it's the notes you're playing on the 4th string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string. Now to ghost the backbeat means to play a choked or a damped sound on that note instead of the full sound of the note. Something that's more percussive. And it gives you a deeper groove, and it also frees you up a little bit as far as what you can play above that in the melody, because if you're not trying to hold down a specific note so much, you can be a little looser about what's actually happening. So a couple ways you can do this are you can first relax your grip. Just relax the pressure on the strings when you get to beat 2 and beat 4. And that means you'll get that percussive snap. Another way to do it is just if you're playing, we'll get to this in a second, but if you're playing, say, a descending bass line, you don't even have to be holding down a specific chord. Whatever you're playing on the 5th or the 6th string, you just let those fingers drape across the strings. So when you get to the 4th string with your thumb on the picking side of things, something over here is touching all the strings. And so you can get that damp sound, again, on beats 2 and 4. And you can get it on the 4 chord F, one of those ways as well, and the same thing on G. So that's the first thing, is to damp the backbeat. And that also makes for a great accompaniment part. Even before you start putting anything on top, if you're going to sing the words to a song, sometimes just playing the bass part is a really good accompaniment for the vocals. And of course, if you're going to put a melody on top, then that damp backbeat works really well also. The second thing you can do is put in some kind of walking bass line. So instead of having the bass alternate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can move to a new bass note every other beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think of this as a halftime bass, because instead of having a new bass note on every beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're having it move every other beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a very cool sound and is easy to integrate with the alternating thumb sound. Well, maybe not easy, but it's not as much of a stretch. So we could have something like this. From the root to the flat 7 to the 6 to the 5. Now this involves doing that damping on beats 2 and 4, that damping the backbeat, which was the first step, right? So on the F, you might only have the bass move in the second measure of F like that. So, and then here on G, you could climb up. Root, 2, sharp 2, 3, root. Again, damping the backbeat in between. So, that's the second thing you can do, is have a walking bass line. And then the third thing you could do is use some stop time. Stop time means literally the accompaniment, which in this case is your thumb, stops while some kind of soloing or single note thing happens on top. In a band, it's the idea that the band would stop or play hits on the downbeats or something like that, and then somebody would solo in between those hits. Since it's just us playing solo fingerstyle guitar, then the thumb can stop and you can play some single note licks on top. And this is a effective thing to do in, say, this little 8-bar progression I've been playing of C to F to G, and then the last 2 bars, bars 7 and 8 of this 8-bar progression, there's 2 bars of C, and we could have a hit on the downbeat of C, and that gives us 2 bars in which to do a little improvising. And to do that improvising, I'm using a combination of major and minor pentatonic. So C major pentatonic, here's the root, and the 6 and the 5, and the 2 and the 3, and then C minor pentatonic, here's the flat 7 and the 5, and here's the root, here's the flat 3rd, and the 4. So some kind of lick that involves all those elements, and the downbeat starts with a chord, so 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and then we're back to the top. So that gives you a way to put in some single note licks, and since you are not trying to hold down a chord at the same time, you're free to play licks that are as bluesy and minor pentatonic as you want, or to flavor them with more major pentatonic stuff as well. So and you could also extend it. You could like pull the chord progression apart a little bit and do 4 measures of stop time instead of 2, like I did right there at the end, which would make a nice ending, or is also something you can just kind of like sneak into the middle of the tune. If nobody's really paying attention, they'll just hear that you're doing some cool stop time and won't be like, hey, that's 4 bars, not 2 bars. All right, so that's the idea. So when you're playing that alternating thumb groove, particularly in the key of C, you can first try ghosting the backbeat, so getting that choked sound on 2 and 4. You can try walking the bass from C down to F and from G back up to C. And then you can try doing stop time towards the end of the 8 bars or the 12 bars or whatever your form is, and using the last 2 bars of the tune to play some single note licks to give it a bluesier character. Those are some of the ideas we'll be exploring this month in more detail inside my membership, the Fingerstyle 5. So if you'd like to get your arranging on, come and join us. You can check it out at the link below or the link on screen. If you've got a question about today's lesson, about alternating thumb finger picking, about playing in C, anything like that, leave it for me down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.